Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Balance Sheet Breakdown, a WilkinGuttenplan podcast. Typically on the Balance Sheet Breakdown, we talk about accounting industry topics affecting many of our clients. Today, however, we're going to have a bit of a special episode. We're going to be spending some time with some of our newest members of the WilkinGuttenplan team to talk about their experience at the firm, what drew them to WG, and how they've been successful in applying their school knowledge to real-world applications. So I'm Chris Frederick, a partner with the firm, and joining me today are Justin Dekovics, an associate in our tax department, and Phillip Amari, one of our summer interns. Thank you both for joining me. It's great to have you both, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Chris.
Phillip, let's maybe start with you. This is your second time interning with the firm. Let's go back to the start. What made you identify Wilkin+Guttenplan as a firm that you were interested interviewing with, interning with? Was there anything that really drew you in at first?
Yeah, I go to Rowdy University, so when I first started looking for internships, we use Handshake, which is an online platform for applying to internships, more specifically towards the business world. Within Handshake, looking at different firms, and I came across Wilkin one day, and it seemed very interesting because I was always interested more in the mid-sized firms.
Okay.
I never really saw myself going Big Four, but I never left it out of question. I applied, looked it up, researched it, and saw that it was very culture firm-based, and that's something that really stood out to me before even interning in the first place. And I think that was something that really also pulled me in, was seeing how close-knit that this firm was and all the different areas of work that Wilkin does within audit and tax itself, and how diverse the firm is.
With that, right, what has been maybe your favorite part of your internship experience?
Definitely being able to do a wide range of work, in working with different real estate properties, doing audits in there. Did some tax return work at some point, and now I'm working in the commercial department. And I think that's really special for an intern, especially someone like me, my age, with my experience, to get exposed to that amount of work instead of just doing the same repetitive task that might be offered elsewhere. So I think that's really important and something that really stands out to me.
Phil, I think it's funny you say that, right? Because I've only been at mid-sized firms. This is my second mid-sized firm. Having maybe a well-rounded internship experience, right, either tells you, hey, yep, this is something I like, or nah, this this ain't for me. So so it sounds like you're maybe having that sort of an experience.
Yep.
So Justin, you've been with us full time as maybe an official associate for a relatively short time, but you've been with the firm in various capacities for
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
What made you decide after doing your internship here, coming on full time as opposed to looking somewhere else, looking Big Four? What wanted you to come back here to the WG family?
So similar to what Phil had to say, I've grown up in a small community. I went to a small high school. I branched out, went to Rutgers University, and that's a much bigger school than I was used to.
Yep.
So I got to see both sides of having a small place, knowing everyone versus knowing only a handful of people. I really enjoyed my time leading up to the internship. I was in various roles of mostly restocking kitchens.
Right. Administrative. Come on,
Yeah.
Justin. It's administrative. You're in an administrative role.
But I really did enjoy the personal relationships I had built over the years. I think when you find it, you know that you belong in that specific spot, and I really did enjoy that aspect.
But I think that's kind of what Phil was saying too, right? It's like the WG family, and we're big enough firm where maybe, Phil, to your point, we see a bunch of different stuff. You're not just doing, say, simple small 1040s, but it's also, you see the whole piece of the project where maybe smaller teams, you really get to meet and know those people. Was there anything about your perceptions of the accounting industry that were totally dispelled going into it? On the other side of that, is there anything exactly in line with your expectations?
I guess, I could speak to this a little bit. Something that what I'd say would be in line with my expectations would kind of be type of work, more in terms of like in school you learn about balance sheets, trial balances, general ledgers. I kind of knew that would be here. I just didn't know in what form I'd be seeing that. Where is that applied?
Yep.
So I think that's something that I'm starting to correlate, is from what I'm seeing in the classroom versus what I'm seeing at the firm now, is starting to finally correlate and make sense and connect, which is
right. If it's hey, this is what I'm learning, and this is the real world application, and why that's important to us as public accountants. Justin, what's your thoughts?
No, I agree. I think school does a good job giving you the very broad overview of everything, but until you work, you don't really connect the dots and how things truly relate in the accounting industry and what the services we can provide to our clients. So that's something, just in the 6 months that I've been a full-time staff, I've really started to connect over the last few months.
Yeah. Well, and so that's what you've seen at college and what's maybe in line with expectations, what's maybe out of line with expectations. So I've been in public for 15 years, and when I joined, I legitimately thought people didn't leave the office. I legitimately thought people like sat at their desk like in the dark and just like plug numbers away all day. So for me, like, and again, this is 15 years ago. Right? So for me, that was like a big thing. It's also not like the Ben Affleck movie, right? It's like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, definitely like along the lines of what you were saying. When I was in the beginning of my college experience, and even when high school, when I was applying for like schools with accounting, all I thought about was sitting in like an office from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. during busy season, penciling numbers. And I was like, I don't know if that's what I want to do, because it's all I've ever heard of. It's the only perception I've ever heard of, because I never knew any accountants in my life, so I didn't really know what that really entailed. But ever since maybe sophomore, junior year, coming here, working here, I realized it's so much different than that, and it's really nothing like that at all.
Right, than being stuck in a desk all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't speak on other firms, but WG really does hold true that you can work around your schedule. They did it in college for me, and now as a full-time staff, if I'm someone who likes to work in the afternoons more than the mornings, I can sleep in. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It's meet your hours, meet your budgets, and that's something that, again, I really appreciate, and it wasn't something that I expected.
Justin, it's funny you say that, because I think for me, the firm and the industry has evolved over the past 5-7 years, certainly with COVID. A few years ago, Jeff Bezos had a term, work-life integration, right? Which is like, it used to be work-life balance. Like, you'd have your work, then it'd be separate from your life, where now it's like how remote everything is. It's like, no, listen, you need 2 hours in the morning, knock yourself out, go to the gym, like, do whatever you got to do. Integrate some work in there. You want to go to dinner, come back, work later in the evening, right? That it's more about, hey, let's get the work done, have your life, enjoy it. We're not living to work.
And I think technology really has helped, and we have the capabilities to Outlook on your phone, Teams on your phone, software like that.
Yep.
So really it's nice you can step away from it, but at the same time, if you're needed, you can be reached.
I've talked to a lot of different people, and there's varying maybe positions on it. Is like, listen, we all have Teams, we all have Outlook on our phone, right? Like, everyone has everyone's phone number. And to your point about stepping away, Justin, right? I don't get Teams notifications, and I don't get email notifications on my phone, right? So like, that's for me was like one to say, I check it often enough that I guarantee there's nothing that's going to be in my Teams that I need to address immediately that can't wait a few hours till tomorrow, till I'm back. Like,
everyone respects the boundaries.
Exactly. Phillip, what would you say is maybe one of your biggest takeaways from time here at the internship? Was there anything that you're maybe able to now apply the other way? Right, we talked about some of the book learning and applying it here. What's your thought as maybe you enter your last year of school?
I think right now the biggest takeaway that I'm getting from working with WG in my time here is always being open to new connections and always being willing to like help everyone out anywhere you can, because I feel like that's kind of the gist of how daily operations are here, in terms of everyone always looking out for each other and having each other's backs. I feel like everyone is always so open to communication here, and no one ever shuts you out or says, oh, I'm too busy. Like, everyone always finds a time to help you here, and I feel like I could take that from here and apply it to my life at home, my life at school, and always be able to help. Yeah, and always feel like open to help others and always be there, because it's something that I value.
Yeah, for sure. And to your point, right? That's not even accounting related, right? That's something you can really apply across the board. So, Justin, you started with us right when you were in high school, right? How has that transition been? You talked about some of the firm's flexibility, like while you were in college. What's your thought on the maybe your roles, your responsibilities? How well did the internship maybe prepare you for full time? Was it a lot of the same work, maybe the next level? Like, what's your thought on maybe that whole aspect of the process?
Yeah, so I feel like we touched on it before. We were talking about the flexibility. So coming in, I started in December, so busy season was right around the corner.
Yep.
I really didn't know, since it was my first time working it during a busier time of year. I interned in the summer. I felt like I had to be at my desk 12 hours a day, like no matter what. And I'm someone, again, it's awesome. WG offers the remote working situations, but I'm someone who likes to be in the office. I feel like I get work done better. So I wasn't making time for going to the gym, personal things that mentally helped me do my job a little bit better.
Yep. If this hour helps you
Correct.
get in a better mindset, like, by all means.
I think that was it. So college really did a good job preparing me for, I know I get my best work done in the mornings. I'm not an afternoon person. This job allows me to come in early. I can start working. I normally start working around 8 o'clock, and then I'll finish up a little bit earlier. But I know in the morning, that's when I get my best
Right,
work
right.
done. So
You can crank it out before lunch.
correct. At least my more challenging,
Right.
my more challenging job.
How do you feel like your time, maybe as a pre-intern through your internship, set you up to be successful as you transition to maybe a full-time staff, and what skills during your internship were you able to apply? Was it maybe a similar experience?
Yeah, so going from college and then my internship, the internship really helped me lock down what I wanted to do.
Yep.
I knew tax was for me. Audit and insurance, not so much.
I won't hold that against you, right? Being an auditor, I'll let you slide. You can hang out in the tax department.
But yeah, it really just further established what I like to do. So now I am starting to specialize a little bit more in certain areas. Real estate's one of them,
Yep.
and estates and trusts. So now it's really honing in on what I like to do. And again, I had so much experience in different areas, which is something that I know most of my friends can't say. In accounting, they're
Yep.
kind of locked in one path and they stay on that path. So that's been really nice. So.
I know, for me, when I did my internship with my old firm, it was the same thing. Like, I was doing audits during the day, tax returns during the night. It really gave me the opportunity to see what I like and didn't like. Phil, I'm with you. I didn't grow up around accountants. My parents aren't accountants, so having that internship was, hey, this is what they do all day. You know what I mean? It's really a bit of an eye-opening experience for me. Again, my professors at college talk as much as they want, but until you kind of get in the chair and see how this stuff actually works, it's a big difference. Justin and Phil, thanks so much for taking some time sitting down with me today. It's always great to connect, especially with some of our newer, younger folks, really what makes them love WG as a firm. And it seems like you're both really building a good connection with other folks we work with and the firm. So I think that's really great to hear. And so this brings us to the end of another episode of the Balance Sheet Break. I'm Chris Frederick, helping you make sense of the numbers.